Hello and welcome back to the Scoop with Coop. I'm of course Coop, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how Spain can beat Argentina. Earlier today, I posted a video about how Argentina could go ahead and beat Spain. And when looking through my notes and some observations that I have, found, the things where Spain can attack Argentina are quite plentiful. In fact, there are a lot of ways in which Spain can attack Argentina. And without further ado, let's jump straight into it, shall we? Ha! Gotcha. But first, before we go ahead and do that, make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe. It's absolutely crucial to the channel. We're so close to 70 subscribers, and that's absolutely amazing. I am just beyond a belief that we're here and that our fan base is growing, and that's absolutely fantastic. But make sure to go ahead and do that, as it's pretty cool. Now, let's officially get started. And the ways in which Spain can attack some of Argentina's weaknesses is, first of all, just being better in the midfield department, right? Most of the time, Argentina wins through, their attacking play coming through in the end and being clutcher than their opponent. I think if there's a team that won't really work against, it is Argentina. It is Spain, right? Because Argentina in their games have been down 2-0 to Egypt. They've been having to fight gritty wins against Switzerland. They were down 1-0 against England. Like, there are a ton of, games where Argentina's having to win at the death. And I think that area is in favor of Spain, in my opinion, because Spain's ability on the ball is so much better than Argentina's. They're much more talented than Argentina. And I think that, just to put it simply, if their midfield is better, easy. Because, like, you have Rodri, Fabian Ruiz, Danny Olmo, right, as your starting like midfield grouping, however they choose to deploy them. But a lot of times it's like in a 4-2-3-1 type of thing, which is my favorite formation. Where you would have, Rodri and Ruiz either as like holdings or pivots or whatever, where you'd have them kind of go from defense and then move it up into the offensive side or into the offensive group. And if you're able to win the midfield battle, that's it, because you can immediately attack on the age of Argentina. You're faster than Argentina. You can get it out to Lamine Yamal, who can do his magic in one-on-one scenarios, or you can have him do it in the midst of chaos, which that is as appealing as it can get. Or you can also decide we want to play it more centrally, and we can have Lamine Yamal and Baena spread out, and we can have Olmo and Oyarzabal. Those two go crazy. Like, there are many options that you can fall back on whenever your midfield is dominating, and if that Spanish midfield dominates, that is going to be crucial. That's going to be absolutely, crucial. And, I had mentioned Lamine Yamal earlier. I think this is a big moment for him personally because, obviously he dominated the Euros. He played very well in that. This World Cup, he hasn't played as well. And I think this is a big moment for him in his career because if he has a good game, the sky's the limit. And I know it is, but I think that having a World Cup and a Euros where you are, in the case of the Euros, probably the best player, and in the case of the World Cup, you showed up in the biggest moment, that does a lot to your legacy. And I think that, that obviously is something that he is thinking about, because let's face it, this guy is, very, like, the dude wears a headband with Ego Lamine on it. Like, this guy is thinking about, his legacy and all that. Like, this is a big moment for him. And it's against a very, very good matchup where, Argentina, they are not fantastic at, like, dominating wingbacks. Like, they don't have that. Like, they have Tagliafico and Molina. Like, neither one of those two are exactly what I would consider absolutely just fantastic, can't miss, dominating players. Like, that's just not the case. Like, in the most recent game against England, both of their wingbacks were the worst out of anyone on their back four. They were the worst. Like, their wingbacks are booty cheeks, and that can allow for Lamine Yamal to cook. I also think that with him being faster, that can allow for him to get his defender off balance and go into his, like, pretty much patented chop, get to the left, and bending it like Beckham ball. Like, that is his skill set. Although the one thing that could go against him here is that Argentina is a lot more experienced. I'm sure they've seen it thousands of times. And I also think that they are going to be able to body him a little bit. So if you can get him some space, that is going to be key. And then the other thing talking about getting space and getting all of that is maintaining a good counter press. And what I mean by that is make sure that your press once you lose the ball is key because Spain is phenomenal at this. It is what wins them games where your press doesn't work against them, but their press works against you. And if that happens where you finally Argentina is able to finally get the ball back from Spain and then Spain immediately wins it back, that's going to be key because Spain is very very good at number one maintaining possession but also winning the ball back up high. Like that happened a couple of times and that actually resulted in a penalty for them when they played France where they lose possession of the ball. A France wingback goes to clear it, clears it poorly, doesn't see Lamine Yamal coming flying in to go, win a header for it, and he just kicks Lamine. That is an instance, very recently where you see their counter press work. And if that does get working, and you already have the possession of the ball, that is going to be spooky. And then one of the other things is turning and not being. Try to think how I want to phrase this. Don't be Portugal. Do not pass for the sake of passing. Pass for the purpose. I think that with I've already talked about how Spain is just fantastic with the ball at their feet and how they are so much better than a lot of teams in possession. What I mean by that is they are great at possession with purpose. They do not dilly dally unless it's time wasting things, which it's yeah, duh, obviously. But they are phenomenal at creating chances off of their possession when a lot of teams just sort of fall back into the trap of Gareth Southgate ball, where it's just all right, pass it back to the center back. Now goalkeeper. Yeah, they don't do that a lot. They are very good at keeping the ball and the whole pace of the game really as they choose. And I think that if they can keep that, number one, keeping the possession, but also the control, keeping control of the game and being direct with their possession and how they want to approach things, that is going to be key. And that also falls back on the midfield a little bit because they are the ones who dictate everything. And then also, I'm going to include Lamine Yamal, Baena in there as well because they kind of have a very long midfield, right? Where it's you have your defensive midfielders and then you have your attacking midfielders and you kind of have everyone move around, step up as things are needed, or in other cases, drop back as things are needed. And then I kind of spoke about pace, right? Trying to make this game calm. Because Argentina has won all of their games off of chaos, right? I can't think of it's just an easy, calm win for Argentina. Nope. It doesn't exist. It has not happened this World Cup. So if you can keep the game calm, in possession, and not go crazy, that is key. Because if you are able to, number one, keep Messi chill and you don't leave him on an island, and you can slow down the entire pace of this team, or at the very least, slow down the chaos of Argentina, that is going to be key. And a couple other more specific notes instead of just general notes for the game. Number one, do not fall back into the idea of parking the bus. Keep attacking. Do not settle. And if you are going to do that, they are phenomenal at getting the off-ball movement and having a ton of movement all around. They could be just a ton of eye candy for Argentinian players. Keep that up. I also want to see how they defend Lionel Messi because what has happened with Messi is teams start to just drift back. They are going to protect the 6-yard box, not even the 12-yard box, or not even the 18. They just do not care. And Messi has been able to punish teams, most specifically against England, where they dropped back. Messi had 2 assists, and one team played in the third place game today. And side note, that game was absolutely awesome. I highly check out watching the replay on YouTube because it has been absolutely phenomenal. That was such a fun game. But back, to getting on track here, you have Messi. If you can control him and keep him isolated, and you can keep him with a body around him, and you don't let him get space to where he can do all of his, we're going to play on the left, now we're going to go over to the right. If you can control that, that is key. Because he loves changing as the course of the game goes on. And if you can isolate him and also make sure to where you don't let him roam free, that is going to be key. Another thing, Spain needs to get up onto Argentinian players. They cannot just settle back because Argentina has 5 goals from outside of the box this tournament. And one of the goals in the English game in the England game was a Enzo Fernandez screamer. Like, you cannot let that happen, right? You're going to need to press up, and that kind of goes back into something that they do pretty well, which is a high line. They love playing high with their lines. I do think that the only thing about that is, if there's anyone who could probably pick you apart for that, it would be Messi. So if you are to deploy it at the proper moment and be cautious with how you do it. I don't love the idea normally of being cautious with everything, but I think that controlled cautiousness is how you can win this game. I think that if you play all of your cards right, realistically, if you were able to execute how you should, you could be able to win this like 3-1. Like, I think that Spain is a much more talented team, and I think that over the course of the tournament, they have shown me at least that they are a better team. But I do think that they need to not sleep on Argentina, play physical, play fast, get out in transition, be direct at their possession, be aggressive, and be the Spain that we've seen. But we've reached the end of the video. Make sure once again to go ahead and like, subscribe. It's absolutely crucial to the channel. We are so close to 70 subscribers, and I cannot wait to hit that mark. But this has been the Scoop with Coop. I'm, of course, Coop, and until next time, so long, everybody.